It should come as no surprise that Buckingham Palace is one of the most recognizable sights on Earth. In addition to serving as the British monarch's official residence, the palace is a representation of the nation's rich cultural heritage. However, why is Buckingham Palace so valuable, and what mysteries are concealed behind its walls? Come along with us as we explore Queen Elizabeth's $5 billion Buckingham Palace and uncover some of its most intriguing mysteries. Let's first take a brief digression to familiarize you with the palace itself. The Palace of Buckingham. The British monarch's official residence and administrative center in London is Buckingham Palace. The palace's history, which dates back to the 17th century, is extensive and intriguing. The palace's initial location was a marshy area beside the Tyburn River that had been owned for ages by a number of aristocrats and monks. The first Duke of Buckingham and Normanby, John Sheffield, constructed a sizable residence on the site in 1703, which came to be known as Buckingham House. King George III purchased Buckingham House for his wife, Queen Charlotte, and their kids in 1761. After that, he ordered the mansion to be renovated, and it was dubbed the Queen's Mansion. The home served primarily as a private dwelling and a venue for hosting visitors. The property was inherited by King George IV in 1820, who made the decision to turn it into a magnificent palace. Queen Victoria became the first royal to occupy Buckingham Palace as her official residence in 1837. However, she ordered the construction of an additional wing along the garden front because she felt the palace was too small for her expanding family. She also rebuilt the old gatehouse with a new one and relocated the Marble Arch to Hyde Park. Electric bells, flushing bathrooms, and gas lighting are just a few of the contemporary conveniences Queen Victoria added to the castle. Since then, Buckingham Palace has hosted numerous important ceremonies and events. It currently contains 775 rooms, which include 92 offices, 78 baths, 188 servant bedrooms, 52 royal and guest beds, and 19 staterooms. It also features a cinema, a swimming pool, a chapel, a ballroom, and wait for it, a post office. In addition, the Buckingham Garden is London's biggest private garden. This magnificent palace is worth an incredible $5 billion, though, which is another fascinating detail about it. Yes, you heard correctly. State events and official functions are hosted in the state rooms, which kindly welcome the public every year from most of July until October. Having said that, let's now explore this magnificent palace to uncover some of its most intriguing mysteries, and of course, the most costly items that belong to Queen Elizabeth II, the late monarch. The Blue Mauritius 2-penny stamp, one of the rarest and most costly postage stamps in the world. The 2-penny Blue Mauritius stamp, also called the Tuppenny Blue, is part of the stamp collection at Buckingham Palace. In September 1847, the British colony of Mauritius released this stamp in addition to an orange-red 1-penny stamp. The words Post Office were printed on both stamps. On following issues, this was changed to Post Paid. The Royal Philatelic Collection, which was owned by Queen Elizabeth II and is kept in a separate location at the palace, includes the Tuppenny Blue stamp. The Queen also inherited the Royal Philatelic Collection, making her the 5th monarch to do so. Joseph Osmond Barnard, a local artist, etched Queen Victoria's profile head on the Tuppenny Blue stamp. Although he gave them a distinctly primitive appearance, he based his design on the British stamps of the era. A single plate only produced 500 of each value, and many of them were used to send invitations to a ball that the governor of Mauritius's wife was hosting. Only a few dozen of these stamps are known to survive today, making them extremely valuable to collectors. One of the places where you can see an original Tuppenny Blue stamp is at Buckingham Palace, the London residence and administrative headquarters of the monarch of the United Kingdom. Due to their presence in the prestigious collections of well-known stamp enthusiasts like Sir Ernest de Silva, Alfred F. Lichtenstein, and several others, Mauritius Post Office postage stamps have earned their position as some of the most valuable gems in the world. As a result, their value increased dramatically over time, making them unrivaled gems in the philatelic community. In reality, King George V set a global record in 1904 when he won £1,450 at an auction for an unused blue 2-pence post office stamp, making him. After accounting for inflation, the remarkable amount would be worth over £170,000 in 2021. Additionally, one of these stamps £1.05 million at the most recent auction in 2011, which is an incredible 1.7. There are currently just 26 examples of Mauritius post office stamps left, 12 two-penny stamps and 14 one-penny stamps. In a collection valued at over 100 millions, the tuppenny blue stamp is worth £2 million. It is regarded as a philately and a representation of Mauritius. Although the collection is not publicly accessible, it is occasionally loaned to museums or shown during exhibitions. Among the more than 600 pieces in Queen Elizabeth's Fabergé collection, the mosaic Fabergé egg is among the most recognizable. In 1914, the renowned Russian jeweler Peter Karl Fabergé created a masterwork of jewelry and art known as the mosaic Fabergé egg. It is among the priciest and most elaborate Fabergé eggs ever created. For the 1914 Easter celebrations, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia commissioned the mosaic Fabergé egg as a present for his wife, Tsarina Alexandra Fyodorovna. It was the couple's final egg before the Russian Revolution and the start of World War I ended their rule and their life. Because it has a surprise inside, the egg represents their love and family. The egg has 5 oval panels with diamond and gold belts, and it is composed of platinum and gold. A mosaic pattern of flowers crafted from diamonds, sapphires, rubies, emeralds, topazes, and garnets adorns the panels. The mosaic pieces resemble tapestry or needlepoint because they are so tiny and accurate. The year 1914 and the Empress's initials in Russian characters are displayed on a moonstone at the top of the egg. A detachable small gold frame featuring relief profiles of the Tsar's children, Olga, Tatiana, Maria, Anastasia, and Alexei, is the surprise inside the egg. Each child's name and year are enameled on the frame, along with a sepia basket of flowers. The royal crown-shaped gold stand holds the frame, which is detachable from the egg using gold clips. In order to achieve a realistic impression, the portraits are created using grisaille enamel, which employs various shades of gray. One of the few Fabergé eggs that made it through the chaos of the Russian Revolution undamaged is the mosaic. The Antiquariat, the Soviet organization responsible for selling confiscated valuables, sold it when the Bolsheviks seized it in 1917. Later, in 1933, King George I and Queen Mary of England purchased the egg for £250. After this acquisition, the egg was added to the royal collection and passed second upon her accession in 1952. One of the most treasured items in the royal collection is still the mosaic egg. Along with other Fabergé eggs, the egg was featured as a highlight of the Royal Fabergé Showcase during Buckingham Palace's summer opening, which took place from July to October 2011. Collection of Art Queen Elizabeth II has one of the world's most valuable and spectacular art collections. Indeed, there is a wealth of precious art at the Queen's Gallery at Buckingham Palace, which is the largest privately owned collection in the world. With an astounding 1 million items, this remarkable collection features a singular variety of gems. They include over 150,000 pieces on paper, including 30,000 drawings and watercolors, and 7,000 paintings, along with a vast collection of 700,000 artworks, including everything from furniture, pottery, and textiles to carriages, weapons, jewelry, and more. There are also some 450,000 pictures, clocks, musical instruments, dinnerware, plants, books, manuscripts, and sculptures are all part of this enormous collection. King Henry VIII started collecting artwork from Europe and other countries in the 16th century. They include unique and uncommon jewels, as well as stunning glitter and understated elegance. The imperial state crown is among the most recognizable items in the Queen's jewelry collection. Since the 15th century, various kings and queens have worn the imperial state crown, which is a representation of the British monarch's authority. A new king wears the current version for the first time in the royal procession following their coronation, which is carried out with the St. Edward's crown in 1937. This distinguished crown is thereafter worn at state events, including parliamentary openers. It has 273 pearls, 5 rubies, 11 emeralds, 17 sapphires, and 2,868 brilliant cut diamonds. St. Edward's Sapphire, a gem thought to have been taken from Edward the Confessor's ring at his reinterment at Westminster Abbey in 1163, is set on the top cross of the 2.3-pound crown. Over the years, there has been ongoing debate regarding the imperial state crown's actual value. Any attempt to determine its value is essentially a guess because there is no certified appraisal on file. The crown jewels that were created for Charles II and his successors are not the same as these magnificent diamonds. While some kings added to the collection, others were constructed for queens who were either monarchs' wives or ruled. More recently, while she was the reigning monarch of Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, Queen Elizabeth II proudly wore these remarkable gems. Elizabeth is survived by 2 corgis, a dorgie, and a cocker spaniel, in addition to her human family. Which historical artifact from Queen Elizabeth's $5 billion Buckingham Palace is your favorite? Leave a comment below with your opinions. Additionally, click the subscribe button to see more fascinating films like this one.